Hey Professor, in this video I'm just going to be talking about the challenges I faced when creating this portfolio and the three classes that helped me create it. First, I want to give credit to like my classmates and the tutors that helped guide me in making this. I really didn't understand like what to do without their help. So first I want to talk about the assignments class I have open here, which is basically like the abstract class and polymorphism thing you were talking about in class. And I pretty much made each program as a class a child of assignment. And here I have the titles class, which basically creates a title and sets position and does all that good stuff. And portfolio class just puts it all together. Here we just looping through the assignment vector and creating the title, and then we have the window for the portfolio, and we have the mouse event and just drawing it. Yeah, so I just want to talk about the one of the most difficult things that I learned, which was polymorphism, and it didn't really make sense until I started to implement it in here. And like now I understand like when a child inherits the assignments class, it forces them to create that function because you want each of that child to do the exact same thing, which is what I was trying to do here, which was um, to when they click on the title, it just runs the game, and that's what I wanted to do. And yeah, I think I had to just mess around with that to really understand what it really meant. Another thing that was like really tedious and frustrating was including all the program files and separating them into folders in the beginning of this. Especially like all my card games, I think I reused like a lot of my code, and I had to rename like a bunch of the stuff, like the ranking nums and pseudonyms, and it was like really tedious. I think it took over like an hour to rename like all this stuff because it was messing up with the IDE. And yeah, I think these last two projects really just like made me understand what it means to program in like object oriented programming versus functional programming. And I went into the semester with like the of like a functional programming mindset, and like now I understand like how all object oriented programmers think, and like I think I really had to go through these two projects to really understand like how objects interact and how they work with each other. And I think it was towards the end of making my poker game, or I was like getting like really messy with my code, and I was like writing a whole bunch of functions. And I was like, wait, I can just create a player class and store it all in here and have it interact with each other on here instead of creating a bunch of functions. And yeah, it really hit me when I was doing it. I was like, and I was explaining it to one of the tutors, like, what do you think about this poker game I created? And you're like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, and it just hit me. And yeah, I think these last two projects really made me understand the idea of uh, thinking like an object oriented programmer. And I think that's the biggest thing I got out of this class. And this is what it looks like. And in the other video, I'm just showing myself like running it and stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you.